Hi, Frank.
Hi, I'm here. Audacity's going. I see that we are on a time crunch.
Yes.
Hello, Jackie.
Hey, Frank. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Terrific.
And there's
Hey,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. The sweeter the honey tunnel, the vaster the podcast.
What?
This is episode 208 of Insert Credit, a relentlessly paced audio program where a panel of experts addresses a series of video game topics under the twin Damocles-esque swords of a tight time limit and a horrible buzzer. I'm Alex Jaffe, and if I were to enter a video game cat into a cat show, it would be Cats from the game Zero Wing.
Wow. I was just discussing the book, All Your Base Are Belong to Us, and how it has the title, All Your Base Are Belong to Us, just before the show, and how you shouldn't trust anyone who names a book that. My name is Frank Cifaldi, and if I were to enter a video game cat into a cat show, it would be whatever the cat's name that's in Puss in Boots for the NES. He's got that extendo arm with the boxing glove at the end. I think that'd be pretty good at the show.
Oh yeah, Percy Us in Boots.
Thank you.
I'm pretty good. I'm Brandon Sheffield. And if I were to enter a video game cat into a cat show, I can't think of a whole lot of cats right now, but Swery's The Good Life just came out. I mean, I guess it's White Owls is The Good Life, but it's kind of Swery's The Good Life. And you can turn into a cat in that one, and it's a little white Persian-looking cat.
So you'd enter yourself into the cat show?
No, I would enter that character turning into a cat, and then she could judge herself and win.
Oh, right, because as we've previously established, you do not empathize with player characters.
That's correct.
Joining us this episode is one of my own dearest friends and the community manager for Singularity 6, a game company you already know very well if you're listening to this episode several years from its release, Jackie Cole.
Hey, thanks for having me, everyone. Currently working on the game Palia, and I have to say that if I were to enter a video game cat into a cat show, it would be the Palico from Monster Hunter World, because I feel like there's lots of outfit choices.
Yeah.
Oh, good cut. Yeah. That's designed from the get-go to be entered into a cat show. I think you score our first point. I did not mention before the show that all of these episodes are scored, and whoever wins gets the homework of designing a question for the next episode.
Oh, good.
Because our last episode was the Halloween special, I wrote all of them for this week, except for the Dirtbag question, which we'll get to halfway through. So,
Dirtbag.
we'll get there. We'll start with an original. Our parents told us that video games are going to rot our minds. But can games be used as tools for mental health?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Next question.
Yeah, we did
How?
it. The immersion quality of video games and the escapist quality can absolutely be leveraged for us to, oftentimes I think a lot of mental health challenges are anxiety or obsessive thoughts, circular thinking, and having those tools of escapism and immersion to change the track of your thought process, if designed the right way, can lead you to focusing on more positive thought cycles.
In what way?
Okay, one game that really comes to mind is Senua's Sacrifice. Now, that's not necessarily nurturing, but it is something that explores mental health topics. Let me go to one that's a little bit more comfy. Like, let's say something like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. Stardew Valley especially brings in characters like, I think the name is Seth, who struggles with alcohol but finds redemption. And it does so in a very light touch. It's a very joyful interface. It's a very joyful art design. And you as a character get to have a very kind journey where the challenges aren't so immense that they can be triggering or remind you of your own real life anxieties, but still confront real life topics in a way that you can explore and then take back into your real world and say, oh, maybe this isn't so bad, or maybe there are other options for me.
Just so we don't get notes, the character is Shane.
Shane, thank you.
Very close.
Yeah, I mean, I think video games in general can help people relax, which is kind of, I mean, it's a very basic way of looking at it, but that's definitely something right there. There are people who don't have control in their lives, and so being able to set up a Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing town the way you want it and have things moving smoothly can be not so much negative escapism as like a way of sorting through things that you can't sort through otherwise in your real life. Seems pretty good as far as I'm concerned.
And I mean, there's some obvious things like games that are specifically made for this purpose. Zoe Quinn's Depression Quest comes to mind
Sure.
as an example of something that I think actually also meant to teach people about mental health issues, specifically depression, that maybe don't suffer from it through a simulation, kind of upping the empathy there. But I think also, maybe to people who suffer from that, seeing that it's like, it's not just you, this is a thing, here's how it works.
Teaching more people about mental illness certainly helps with it in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and being able to simulate those experiences to better understand them. Yeah.
Is there a time that you've used video games for your own mental health?
Sure.
Other than just Brandon's answer of like helps you unwind and relax, keeps the brain happy. That's about the extent of mine, I would say. Long day of work, need to come home and play a game to feel better.
Yeah, or even games like Sky or Journey that can almost be used as meditation tools because of the atmosphere and the music. I think when feeling overwhelmed and not wanting to think about strategy, even something like Stardew Valley, which can have the timer stress, those have been really helpful for me in grounding myself again.
Yeah, when I'm all wound up from doing something or being stressed by various things, I will look for a specific kind of game to play that will pull me down a little bit and let me do something with my brain that doesn't use my brain. And that's incredibly helpful for me. Sometimes it takes a long time to find which game that is, and then that can cause me additional stress.
Well, we're out of time, and I'm sorry there are no points awarded because the answer I was looking for was brain age. Brain age was the correct answer.
Oh yeah, brainage.
Right.
That's not mental health, that's mental age.
Mental stealth.
Question number 2. Why does every MMO feel so bad to play, and is that fixable?
That's because people are awful, and you gotta play with people.
No, they need to be bad to play. It's important. It keeps the crowd a very specific type of person, and that's exactly what you want in an MMO, is to have only one kind of person playing it, right? Is that how it works?
I don't think so.
That's what I was kind of thinking, is trying to reach such a broad audience and being forgiving of certain player behaviors. I know something that we talk about a lot on the Singularity 6 team is machine learning and detecting behavior. And that's just the ongoing challenge, I think, across the internet, is automatic detection of toxic behavior that isn't just in the way you type, but in the way you interfere with other people's games. And something that Palia is aspiring to do is focusing only on the core skill mechanics that you get in a lot of MMOs, like fishing and cooking and harvesting, and the things that create a really peaceful feeling that you can do with friends versus the competitive nature. And while I think that might only attract one player type versus what you were saying, Brandon, about attracting more than one player type, it might be that community is best built when you have people with like values and don't try to address everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I actually also, realistically, I don't think MMOs are really bad to play necessarily. It depends on your type of thing that you like, but they have a lot in common, in my opinion, with free-to-play games, where there's a lot of like, click this thing at the right time, move over here at the right time, and there is certainly a craft to that and making that feel better and more engaging. And I guess I'm talking about combat specifically, but a lot of MMOs are actually really smooth and quite good to play. It's not the kind of thing that engages me personally, but I mean, I've played a bunch of them, just not for that long, because they don't get their hooks in me, but those darn free-to-play games sure do, and they use a lot of the same kinds of stuff, with cooldowns and distance being more important, or timing being more important, or whatever, versus doing an action thing. I think MMOs are maybe they're okay.
I also wonder if, because MMOs are such huge population, they start to replicate what it feels like to try and interact with people in real life. And maybe that's not always the best.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's true. Like you were saying about the specific communities sometimes being good, I do think that, like, for example, if there were an MMO where only members of the insert credit forums were there, it would be a pretty chill place and everybody would help each other. Like when you have a good community that's positive but insular due to being a niche or whatever, you can build a lot more on that, but then you have to worry about outside influences and stuff, and also worry about gatekeeping and whether you're keeping good people out and that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's a big question.
In my experience, the problem I've had with MMOs is not the player base necessarily, but a sort of loose disconnect between your character and the world the game is in that, like, it just kind of feels like it's this static thing that you're floating around in. It doesn't have that weight that comes with being a presence in the world, that it exists independently of you because it has to account for the many thousands of people who play it. And I'm wondering if that's something that's fixable.
I don't know about fixable, but I agree with you that when you join an MMO, maybe you take a break for even a couple years or a year, you come back and you go, wait, the level cap has changed and what it means for me to be good at this game has changed, and that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
And how you fix that is, I think, an important question right now as people really strive to find new destinations to have a daily lifestyle in digital worlds.
Yeah, I just feel like it's hard to impress the idea that you matter to the MMO game world.
It's such a philosophical question because I wonder this. Now I'm thinking, well, how do I do that in my real life? Because we can also sort of fade into the background and dissociate.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're all solipsists here.
Yeah.
Everyone around us is an NPC. So, speaking of which,
no problem there.
catch me up. Are emulation hobbyists saving video games or destroying them?
That is an excellently phrased question. I believe you're basing this on 2 recent Kotaku stories. Am I on the right trail here?
Partially, yes.
Okay, so Kotaku ran a story maybe a couple weeks ago, whenever Metroid Dread came out, I don't remember, about how, hey, if you play Metroid Dread on an emulator on your computer right now, it's like actually better than playing it on the Switch. So maybe consider doing that, which a lot of people are mad about because one could argue that encourages piracy. Oh, I don't even know if Kotaku ran an article on the second thing, but at least Patricia was tweeting about it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of the same thing, right? Switch Online version of the N64 emulator is kind of bad, apparently. I haven't looked into details, but apparently, some graphical effects might be missing in parts of games. There's complaints of controller lag, though there always is complaints of controller lag. That is the inspiration, I believe, behind this question. So let's go from there. Are emulator authors saving or destroying history?
Yeah.
What is the argument for destroying?
The argument for destroying is that they're taking food away from the developers, which will discourage them from making any further games.
Oh, so not history, but industry.
Yeah.
Are they destroying the industry?
Yeah, I didn't say video game history. I said, are they saving or destroying video games?
Video games. Got it. Okay.
Is this also having to do with modding?
Not so much, because when you mod a game, you have presumably bought the game that you're modding. It's not really part of the piracy conversation as far as I'm aware.
Well, not for older stuff. I mean, all the Ocarina of Time texture packs, since we're sticking on N64 here.
Oh, sure.
I don't think most of those people have purchased Ocarina of Time because there is no path to like purchasing Ocarina of Time and getting the data off of it to mod. So them people are pirates.
They probably bought it at one point, which isn't enough for Nintendo.
I don't think any of this stuff would be available to anyone if emulation wasn't already a thing. Like if emulation wasn't established in the 90s and didn't grow its own fan base of people revisiting the past, the market wouldn't have invented it. It came from passion and then was exploited by the commercial industry. So yes, it absolutely is saving video games if you like anything even remotely old.
Brandon, counter argument.
I was looking up how to correctly pronounce Ocarina.
It's Ocarina.
It's Ocarina, yeah.
It's Ocarina?
Yeah.
Man, I don't
Sorry.
like it. I don't like it.
Well, the facts don't care about your feelings,
Wait,
Brandon.
what do you want it to be instead?
Ocarina.
Ocarina, yeah.
Ocarina. Oh,
That
okay.
would be like OAK Arena.
It's like a jambalaya.
Yeah.
What if it's an ocarina made of oak? Is that an ocarina?
I mean, I'm just thinking about the pronunciation of words in the Japanese language, and is not in there in that way.
I would say that nothing could be finer than to play an ocarina.
Okay, let's talk about how emulate Metroid Dread right now and it's better. Is that destroying video games? No? It plays real good on those emulators. I can tell you from firsthand experience. Uh-oh, am I going to jail? Whoa. It's making that game better. You know, what's going to save video games is if we all get rid of these arbitrary boxes that only play certain types of games and just get on the computer. So, yeah, let's do it, everyone.
And just to confirm, I went to Japanese Wikipedia here, and it is Ocarina.
Is it a Japanese word? Like, is that the origin?
Yeah, where's the origin of the ocarina?
It's a Japanese game.
Well, I understand that Ocarina of Time is a Japanese-made game, but okay, so canonically, it's Ocarina of Time, but the instrument might be ocarina.
That's possible.
Okay, that's fair.
It is an Italian instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Ocarina.
Ocarina.
Ocarina. Oh, let's not do this.
That explains why Mario's always playing it.
My hunch is that if it's Italian, it is Ocarina.
Ocarina.
Ocarina. Okay, I think it's Ocarina.
I don't know, man. We got to get some Italians on the horn.
If only we knew some Italians. Next question. Who are, despite all odds, the nicest and most well-adjusted people you know in video games?
Against all odds.
Like players or industry folks?
Anyone around video games who you would think would be a lot worse, but aren't.
Oh man, I mean, I don't want to say that I think anybody's worse, so
Right.
I'm gonna reinterpret this question as people who are nice, perhaps despite success.
Right, that's part of what I mean. And like, despite the pressures of the industry that might jade one into being a worse person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about nice people.
Yeah.
Daniel Rosenfeld, C418, very nice person. The
cool guy.
Composer of Minecraft video games, and also we tried to work together for a while. He's got one album that's called like Failures or something. I forget what it's called. There are 3 or 4 songs from a game that we were trying to work on together in there that never quite came together. But yeah, so that guy's pretty cool and just such a genuinely nice person who actually just emailed me recently because he saw my name heard my name in Tim's new review that he did. I was surprised because he sent an email and I was like, is this spam? I hadn't watched Tim's video yet. Let me see if I can find this here because it's very good. The title is Business Proposal and the body text was, I can't believe you don't like The Matrix. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was, what do you mean you don't like the Matrix, in all caps. So that's my Daniel Rosenfeld interaction for today. Good guy. Who else is nice? Vincent Diamante. He's pretty nice.
Former insert credit.
Yeah, the famous Vincent Diamante.
World famous Vincent. Hey, have you ever met a person and you're just like, this is them. This person is entirely themselves. Like, there's no other person that is this person. I feel like Vince is one of those. He's just Vince all day long. So
far you're naming composers. Are video game composers the nicest people in video games?
Oh, maybe they are.
Yeah, they really need the work. So yeah.
Yeah,
nice everybody.
They got to ingratiate themselves.
All of them try to connect me on LinkedIn. So.
That's right. I met a composer on the street yesterday in my new neighborhood. He was walking around trying to sell people Sonic Internet, and he had just come here from Wisconsin or Minnesota. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make it as a video game composer out here in Oakland. Yeah, they got to hustle.
Sorry, buddy. I'm on Ristar Internet.
Nice.
So I'm still stuck on trying to assume people shouldn't be well adjusted. That's kind of rough for me. But
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
The closest I can come in my life with people I've met is that Anita Sarkeesian. She introduced herself and was very warm and friendly, and it was like, why do you trust anybody?
Oh yeah, that's true.
A good point.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah, very warm and welcoming, and we talked about founding 501c3s and stuff like that, and she's great.
You know, that was actually one of my first impressions also of interacting with Ash. Insert credits own Ash Parrish, because looking at the replies to her articles and tweets and stuff.
They're horrifying.
Terrifying, horrible hate stuff that she gets because she exists. And then hearing her just be like a warm, nice, caring person is like, how did you do this? How did you stay a nice person after these people are saying this kind of, I don't know, man, it's rough.
Yeah, she's definitely that against all odds.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Victoria Tran, who is the community director for Among Us. She really puts herself on the front lines, and I think she's helped to shape that community and that brand by being a leader and not hiding behind anonymity. It helps to humanize the brand.
She's got to be dealing with a lot of nonsense too, though.
Yeah, because it's such an all ages game.
Yeah.
Mhm. You just got to keep in mind that a lot of the people harassing you might be 12.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kind of learning how to be good people on you.
Yeah.
Using you to learn. Yeah.
Casting our memories back to a time when there were video game conventions, what don't most people know about running a convention booth?
You got to pay for power.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow.
It's really
Everything.
expensive.
Chairs.
Yeah, convention centers love to charge you for absolutely anything. Yes, chairs, right? Like
Yeah.
how much is it to rent a chair? Like $100 a day for like a crappy chair?
Yeah.
Floor padding is another one.
Oh, right.
Mhm, mhm.
And quite
Wi-Fi?
often you can't bring your own because
Yes,
the
because
the union has to do it. But because the union has to do it, you often have to wait an incredibly long time to get a thing that you want because you got to get the one guy who's like the
Mhm.
chair guy who can come out and get you that chair. And in Japan, you have to rent the screens quite often. You can't bring your own screen. Sometimes you can,
Mhm.
but often you gotta rent a screen along with your booth space and the power, and it's weird stuff.
sometimes you can't bring in your own stuff, like the stuff you're
Right.
displaying even, which, I mean, example comes to mind for me is setting up our foundation booth at GDC, which was kind of like a micro museum. Like we were expected to, wait in line behind delivery trucks in my 2002 Saturn L Series sedan, to like hand my tubs over to someone to deliver to my booth. So I didn't do that. I just kind of found a parking spot and brought my stuff in. Don't tell GDC.
Yeah, you gotta pay huge tariffs or import duties or whatever if you're selling stuff and you're not from the US and you're exhibiting here. I remember, I think it was it Cappy? So one of those companies they brought like a box of t-shirts to sell, and then they got caught by border patrol or whatever, and they were like, you have to pay X amount of money, and they're like, that's more than we would get selling these. And unseen costs that a lot of folks can have.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, too bad for them.
Yeah. If you have someone who's done events before, it's indispensable the relationships that you build year to year, and you start to get to know different vendors and the people that work conventions and learn where you can get the deals and where the best locations are. And you just don't, that's the kind of institutional knowledge that you can't just replace.
Yeah, it's too bad the Indie Mega booth is gone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like 2 years ago. I think with the pandemic, they were like, you know what, we can't really do this anymore.
I mean, every booth is kind of gone now.
It's true. But booths are coming back. They're coming back in a big way. GDC is going to be a hybrid event. DICE is happening. I've seen some events happening, and something just happened in Brighton.
MagFest came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's ill-advised, but it's happening.
Everybody masking up at these?
Well, they got the vaccines and the masks. So I think that's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not ideal, but it's something.
Right. I heard some people that went to Gen Con this year actually really enjoyed it because it was a lot less people, and the masks. I mean, everyone knows about con flu, and that wasn't as much of a thing this time around because of the masks. Yeah,
that's hot stuff.
Maybe we should just wear masks at conventions all the time.
Man, I'm probably gonna.
Honestly.
Correct.
Yeah. Seems like a good idea to me.
I now have an excuse to wear a mask outside in front of other people for the rest of my life. So
yeah,
I might be doing it.
That's something we'll be able to consider further as we go into the break. This is the point where if you want to get some water or something, you can do that, or we can just roll right through.
We should probably roll because we're on a time
we got a
crunch here,
time limit. All right.
Love to roll.
Sorry, everybody.
No problem.
I got stuff to do. This is great for me, actually.
Yeah, Frank's loving
good. Okay.
Welcome back to Insert Credit. It's time for us to dive into the aforementioned Dirtbag.
Aforementioned.
This is the part of the show where we take one of the questions submitted to us by our generous backers at patreon.com/insertcredit, where you can get access to the form, which allows you to submit those questions, where you'll also get access to each of our episodes 1 day early.
1 day early?
1 day early.
Yes,
And even
nailed it.
nailed it. And even exclusive bonus episodes every month or so, and other treats as they come through.
Yeah, they're nonsense.
This week's question comes from Spencer, who asks, how do we get gamers to talk less about brands and IP and more about the people who make video games?
It's so hard. We got to teach them entirely how to make a video game, kind of. But at the same time, like, you look somebody up and you think, wow, this person did this thing. But that is probably some small facet of what their role was. Credits in video games aren't necessarily complete, and they don't paint a full picture of what somebody did. And, you got a Hideo Kojima game made by 150 people or whatever. I don't know. Probably one answer is to have more like Cliff Blazinski's and Miyamoto's and stuff, because in general, people want to talk about something that's easier for them to understand, and it's easy for them to understand this person directed this, they're in charge of it, and it has their unique flair, and that's something that they can get. But I feel like we're past that day almost, like having a famous quote rock star video game developer. Like how do you get regular style famous anymore in a way that people know your name? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I'm merely being cynical when I say this. So, but you can put some cynicism in here. People only think about what they're told to think about, and it would take there being like a crappy reality show or something that gets really popular for people to think about how games are made by people, and even then, it would only be thinking about those specific people. I don't think people would apply that to other games or anything. We're tribal, right? Like we're tribal by nature, and we like discussing the same stuff. And the easiest way to do that is to consume the same things. And assuming that people want to go the extra mile and think about things, beyond what they can easily consume online, I don't see it. So I don't think there is a way that we, change people's minds to start thinking about people first. I mean, we don't think about labor first anywhere, if that's kind of where this is going. I mean, like, the reaction to, strikes in Hollywood and stuff is like, is better not delay my Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a public facing figure, I feel like we have been trained as people in the industry not to be transparent and not to be public facing, because there have so often been real dire consequences for being that person. And that's part of why I admire Victoria Tran so much, because that's a really bold and brave move to put yourself so public facing. And just the ire of players can be very toxic. And I think that if a company uses brands and IP, they're using it as a shield to add a layer between the player and themselves as people. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of games are trying to change now is we talk a lot about increasing transparency and dev transparency, and it's a culture that you have to cultivate, and it's very difficult. But I think everything that Frank and Brandon you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like John Carpenter's Halloween, we're like, now all we want is Marvel movies. Just push the Marvel button. That's what sells.
But no one's like, and there's other people who worked on John Carpenter movies, and I care about them. Like that no one goes that far, if that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's
But
unfortunate.
if we just want it to be people credited as game creators, it's the same in any other industry. Just John Carpenter movies, or Stan Lee was the Marvel Comics guy, right? Like
At best, you get one guy.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of has to be someone who can become popular doing it, has to do like deep dives into various people, what they did, how they worked on things. And I feel like Danny's No Clip series humanizes game development a bit, but you wind up just talking about the big studios.
The idea of a reality show isn't a bad one, if that's the goal.
If that's the goal, yes.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later. Right now,
Interesting.
I'd like to ask you, has a video game ever satisfactorily addressed an issue or concern or complaint you had with it while you were playing it?
While I was playing it. So like, I have a problem with this game, and then a little like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, they understood that. And
yeah, like my friend Mark, he was recently playing the Higurashi visual novel, and he was bothered by this particular plot hole in it. And like halfway through the game, they explain it. It's like, oh, okay. And he just wasn't expecting them to address that. But it doesn't have to be story related.
Huh. I mean, there's games where the frame rate gets better later because the first stage has too many objects on it, and then later stages don't have as many.
Not quite what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something that justifies the thing you had a problem with in retrospect.
Well,
Oh,
I'm okay. Like, this is probably more my fault than the games, and I can't think of specific examples, but there have definitely been times where I'm like, why doesn't this game have a map? And then I find the button that does it later.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah. I mean, I think the problem with this question for me is once I hit one of those infuriating things, I'm like, well, I got 5 million other video games to play. I'm going to go play one of those. I don't have the stick-to-itiveness to pass.
Yes, the near fishing problem.
That's right. So, I mean, I did get through the near fishing, but it's not because it got better later. I mean, I thought it was fine the whole time was the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the answer is I have not had that experience.
And all I can think about is, doing this one specific task is so difficult, but then you achieve the weapon or the tool that makes it easier. I thought the initial question was specifically like the developers receiving feedback on something, and then they were really good about improving. Which then my answer is development cycles are so slow that it's hard to feel immediate.
Yeah.
But Destiny, I did feel like the most recent Destiny, I thought, has addressed a lot of the early complaints when it first released.
I mean, I have a very specific one that maybe I've mentioned on here before.
Let's hear it.
Tomac the shooting on GP32.
Relatable.
I believe I was the only person to receive a preview ROM of this video game in maybe the world. And I wrote a preview of it, and I had several complaints, which were addressed by the time the final game came out. And I was like, I wonder if this is a coincidence. But
The Brandon patch.
upon reflection, I was the only person who wrote about that game, period. So it probably wasn't a coincidence. So thanks, guys.
Such power.
Yeah, it's cool to feel like somebody's boss for a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the development cycle side of it and receiving and reacting to feedback.
I mean, I've done a lot of it. We
Yeah.
had a game, Gunhouse, our first game that we made at Necrosoft. In an earlier iteration, I had the puzzle, which is where you do most of your like moving your finger around. It was for PlayStation Vita touchscreen at that time. So I thought, you move your D-pad with your left thumb usually. And so I was like, I'll have people engage with the puzzle board in this game on the left-hand side of the screen because that's where people usually do it. And I was using my thumb to swipe around, and it worked well. And then I took it to E3 and showed it to people. And the very first thing people did was take their right hand, obscure the entirety of the screen so that they could swipe over on the left side. And like just absolutely my anticipation of what people would do was completely incorrect just right away. And so we had to flip everything, which led to an amusing bug later because some of the enemies were introduced right facing left and they had to be flipped. But once we did the flip, then we introduced enemies left facing right. And so then sometimes you would get into these situations where enemies were moonwalking because we couldn't remember which one was supposed to be flipped and which wasn't. Very dumb. Good times.
Good times. Here's where we're doubling back to that reality show question, kind of. Where would the point in each episode of a TV documentary series about game companies where a still flips to a photo negative and the voiceover goes, and that's where it all went wrong?
So we're telling you where things went wrong in some video game story?
Yeah, if you were making a series of documentaries about video game stuff, what's the point you would dramatize as the downfall?
Yeah, I think it went well in the end, but we could have at least 5 record scratches for Deadly Premonition when it got canceled again and again and again.
Yeah,
that would be pretty good. I mean, with Ubisoft, you could just have a big allegations episode. Just keeps going wrong over there.
But there's not moments, that's just constant there, I would think.
Yeah, I guess that's a constant stream.
You gotta, what are we freeze framing on?
Yeah. There has to be a moment.
Yeah, for me, it would be a loot box in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh boy.
Nice. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. Points awarded.
Something with Sega in the 90s, but we all know there's no moment. But we like to pretend there was. We like to pretend we could go back and save Sega.
Yeah, it's a running theme here.
Call it, I don't know, when they introduced the Saturn really early. at the E3. That's the one.
Sure.
People like that one. Simplifying history. That's what we do.
That's the point of this question.
This is more of a kind of universal industry thing, but I think if you got like a Zynga Facebook game and then a player is like, wait, I can't play anymore, and it zooms in on the energy mechanic, freeze frames there. Yeah, because that goddamn energy mechanic has ruined a lot of stuff, in my
Just
opinion.
like the gem packs tab where you see like a bag and a chest and a vault full of overflowing gems.
Yeah, man, I do love clicking on the open up those dang chests though in Clash Royale. God darn it! I want all the gotcha without all the gotcha.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Want the gotch without the yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
that's right.
I want the get. I don't want the got.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to get. I can't do this.
I don't want to get got. I want to got get.
Yeah.
I want to get gotcha.
Okay.
Don't want the gotcha to get me.
I need to do see if I can actually get anyone to go on record about this and do a retrospective.
I'll do
about
it.
But the the Vita, as far as I understand, the PlayStation Vita was going to have a lot more RAM than it shipped
Mhm.
with, and it was kind of proposed to developers as you could put your PS3 games on here, and then it came out with half the graphical RAM that it was supposed to. So then they were like, oh, we can't do any of that stuff. So there would definitely be, assuming that that is correct and my sources are remembering correctly themselves, then that would definitely be the moment extremely early on, right before production, when the Vita went wrong.
Yeah, I'll go on the record and confirm that's absolutely true.
Okay, thanks, Frank.
Yes. On the record, Frank says yes.
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 What a
Half the
statement.
RAM.
Powerful.
We should have put more RAM in there, and then they would have been different for some reason.
I think
People
it would have.
liked it. Oh, well, people were like, "Oh, this Vita's not powerful enough."
No, it was
The
the
consumers, I mean.
the problem was developers were not able to make the games that were promised, and they wound up having a hard time. Like optimizing Gunhouse, which is a small 2D game on the Vita, was a chore.
Sure.
It's just like a resource hog, and once you do one or two of those, you're like, I don't need to do this. And I do think that there seriously something went wrong, because the PSP sold over 80 million units, and the Vita sold less than 5 or around 5.
All right.
5 units.
Big difference. Yeah, less than 5 units. It was about 5 million.
All right. I think we've got enough for a little mini series here.
Excellent.
Friend of the show, Kazuma Hashimoto, wrote a terrific piece for Polygon this week about the narrative dissonance in the latest Call of Duty game in its attempts to both call attention to and simultaneously glorify
Duty.
the horrors of war.
Oh.
Wow.
Is there any way forward for Call of Duty to ethically redeem itself, or is it doomed to keep being garbage forever?
I don't think it can redeem itself.
Well, you said way forward, and I'm just I'm imagining a way forward Call of Duty now.
Yeah, a little cute Call of Duty remake.
Yeah.
That's what I intended.
Okay. I don't know if that would make it a good game, but I'd look at it more. I'd like look at screenshots.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard with war games, because they are like, Call of Duty has become such a recruitment tool kind of a thing for American warfighting that I don't think that's redeemable. But then I'm thinking about, like when Frank made the way forward joke, I'm thinking about like a Metal Slug looking Call of Duty, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'd probably check that out.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
I would join the
Yeah.
army right after playing that. For sure.
If it was so cartoonish that you couldn't possibly take it seriously, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, games are supposed to be fun. That's the whole idea, I think, for the most part. And saying this is a game that's fun, but also it's about modern day warfare, there's automatically a cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
So, like Battlefield, what they're doing, like a 2042, right? Where it's in the future, or a game that's in the far past. What was the World War I or II Call of Duty
Battlefield
game?
1.
Battlefield 1. Yeah.
The Battlefield 1, but Call of Duty also did World War games that were super fun.
The first Call of Duty games were all set in World War II.
Yeah. So, but we're talking about Call of Duty way forward.
That's the title of the way
That's
forward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've dubbed it. I don't think you can do both. So unless they really pivot between one of their development studios, I'll play lots of Nazi zombies if that's what the direction they want to go.
They do seem to want to do more shooting Nazi zombies.
Yeah, they like the zombies.
But I'd rather play Wolfenstein and get me some real life zombies.
And some real life Nazis.
Those are real life zombies.
Yeah.
I said real life Nazis.
Oh, Nazis.
You definitely said real life zombies, Brandon.
No way.
You
I?
absolutely did.
No
Roll
way.
the tape back, Esper.
Yeah.
Roll the tape back.
But I'd rather play Wolfenstein and get me some real life zombies. Well, I meant Nazis. They got some zombie Nazis in there too, though.
It's true. But
do.
regardless, yeah. And that's the thing, Wolfenstein is fantasy, but except for when
Yeah.
it's real life, of course. But that's more fun to me.
Absolutely, you got to fictionalize it some more, and don't freaking
Yeah.
put Ronald Reagan in there being like, "Oh yes, you boys are the best that we got. We got to go out and get them commie bastards out there because we." Freaking Ronald Reagan.
Is Ronald Reagan going to be a future guest on the show?
No, on the show. Yeah.
Brandon couldn't make it this week, but we do
Yeah.
have Ronald Reagan.
We got Reagan.
We got old Ronnie, Mammy, etc.
Yeah. You
Etc.
put him in one of those old Futurama head jars. Got him on the show by popular demand.
And his hair is the same as old.
Hey, what if there's a Call of Duty game, but you were Bugs Bunny and you were like doing cartoon stuff to soldiers?
Oh, that's pretty
Oh
good.
my gosh! Like
Oh.
you were like you tunneled your way up on the way to Timbuktu,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then ended up in the
Took a wrong turn at Normandy Beach.
yeah.
You put like dynamite in people's butts, you know? Well, not like
Oh
their
my
butt holes, but like their butt pockets, you know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butt holes are too graphic.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, there's very little anal insertion in Looney Tunes.
Right. Yeah. He's not really, I mean, he might be into that. No judging, but you know,
Oh,
that's not
sure.
really
Let's
appropriate for a game. Put it in like the butts and then also like in the gun nozzles or whatever
Mhm.
they're called,
yeah.
gun holes.
You're basically breaking the fourth wall of Call of Duty, like
Yeah.
bringing in Deadpool. Yeah.
The PvP is duck season, rabbit season.
Ah,
Oh
there
my-
we go. We've solved it.
Congratulations.
Bugs Bunny's Call of
And we
Duty.
call it Call of Looney.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. There it is.
I like
There
it.
we have it.
And that's not Way Forward. It's someone else.
All right. I think it's time for us to go right into our lightning round. This week I have a special game prepared that I'm calling Celebrity Gamer Tags. I'm going to name an actual famous person's Xbox Live gamer tag,
Oh, no.
and you have to guess who it belongs to.
Holy crap.
Any famous person ever? Like we don't get like multiple choice or anything?
No, you don't get multiple choice. You have to guess.
What do you consider famous? Like, are we talking movie stars? Are we talking TikTokers? Like,
No TikTokers on the list.
okay.
I'll tell you that. This one is M. Rodriguez.
I assume it's Michelle Rodriguez.
Frank, do you have a guess?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Jackie?
I'm going to go with Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez is correct. All three
We
of
did
you
it.
get the point.
Wow.
See? Your next gamer tag is McVinney.
Man, who's that? Who's
What is this? We buzz in? Or do we just shout
All three of you get to guess
at the same time?
as soon as you come up with one.
Vince Vaughn.
nice? I have a guess, but I don't remember what his name is. He's the guy who's friends with Aziz Ansari on Parks and Recreation. He's got that hair.
The guy with the hair. I'll take
Yeah,
that as your guess.
yeah.
Frank, do you have
Okay.
one?
Guy with the hair.
McVinney was Vin Diesel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Oh, that guy is a gun. Yeah, the guy that's a gun.
Number 3 is Tony in Egypt.
Okay.
Tony
it's not
Shalhoub.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Great guess.
It's not
Um,
Tony Hawk. He would use his real name.
Anthony Hawkins, professional skateboarder. Yeah.
It was Tony Hawk. Brandon
It
gets
was?
the point.
Oh wow.
He said not Tony Hawk, and then I actually said Tony Hawk. I get the point.
Okay, Frank gets the
You
point.
said Anthony Hawkins.
I said Anthony Hawkins' his real name.
If you really want to win the game, then I guess I'll give Frank the point. T100.
Oh man, what's that guy's name? God darn.
The T-1000 actor.
Oh yeah, it's not the T-1000 actor. I mean, I guess it would have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's probably not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Robert Patrick.
Is Robert Patrick T-1000?
Yes.
Yes.
That's my guess. That guy's way too old to play games, but that's my guess.
But Schwarzenegger is T-100, so I have to guess.
Wow.
He's the
Schwarzenegger.
T800.
Oh, he's the T-800. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the correct answer was Mr. T.
Oh, that's
Oh.
adorable.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Also,
Very pure.
I'm going to reject the notion of too old.
Yeah,
I could see Tony Shalhoub playing Xbox.
absolutely. Yeah, Tony Shalhoub is really into Fortnite right now. Lord 187X.
Lord 187X. I'm gonna guess that it is Keanu Reeves.
Okay,
Whoa.
It's not, but that's who I'm guessing.
Justin Bieber.
that's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, it's definitely got to be someone a little younger, but not
Frank?
that young.
I don't have one.
Lord 187X is Ice-T.
Oh.
Yeah.
So just absentmindedly I Googled it. So I didn't feel like I could I didn't realize until after I Googled it, like, wait, I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's
so
yeah.
I did know it was Ice-T. I had to pretend I didn't have a guess.
Fetty D LBGC.
Betty?
Fetty D
With an F?
FEDDEE D LBGC.
That's too many letters.
That's Kevin Federline.
It's a
Ooh.
very good guess.
I don't know.
I don't know who that is, except he dated some pop ladies.
Britney Spears.
That's right.
LB Johnson.
That's another
There
great
you go.
guess.
Wow.
It's LBJ.
I just lost track of the letters, so I don't know.
Fetty D LBGC is Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Good for him.
What is that? What do any of those letters mean?
Fetty is Freddie, D is
Okay.
Durst, LB is Limp Bizkit,
Wow.
and GC is, I believe,
GameCube.
Gold Cobra, which is the name of an album they released.
Oh, I think
Wow.
it's God Christ. That's what it
God
is.
Christ.
Yeah.
Or maybe Gamer Club.
Oh, Gamer.
I would have gotten it if it was DC instead of GC because he signed all those Dreamcasts
That's true.
in 1999.
Our next gamer tag is Jew Boy Fresh. Boy is spelled BOI.
Adam
Um,
Sandler?
That's a good guess. I know that one of these people uses Jew Boy, and I can't remember who. I mean, it's not like there's only one person that uses that, but man, Adam Sandler is a great guess. But I feel like it's someone younger and more ironic. Man, I don't know. What's the name of that goddamn guy who's Sacha Baron Cohen?
Okay, Frank, do you have one?
I don't.
It was Andy Samberg.
Ah,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
the
totally.
clone!
Yeah, exactly.
That's who I was trying to think of, actually.
Yeah. That's absolutely the gamer tag he would have.
Yep.
Your next one is Bex, BECKS 021130.
That's back.
I think it's someone who really enjoys drinking Beck's beer.
Okay.
Bex what? What was the number?
Bex 021130.
Okay, that's meaningless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either Beck or someone named Rebecca.
Yeah, it could be. It could be Rebecca Black. Wait, is that what her name is?
That's Rebecca Black. Yeah, singer of Friday.
Yes, I'm gonna say it's her.
Okay. Jackie, do you have a guess?
I like Rebecca Black. I'll put my chips on that with you.
Okay. It was David Beckham.
Oh,
Soccer player
Um,
David Beckham. Two more.
okay.
What did he do on 2002 November 30th?
I don't know. Maybe he married Posh Spice then?
Oh, old PS.
Your next tag is X420 Kush King 420.
Oh man,
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I've totally seen this one directly, and I can't remember. Is it Snoop Dogg?
I'm putting in all three of your guesses as Snoop Dogg, and they are all incorrect. It's
Oh.
actually racist puppeteer Jeff Dunham.
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
I don't know who that
Is
is.
that his full name?
That is his full name, RPJD. Finally, You're an Idiot 2414. Your is spelled YOUR, and there's an underscore between Ann and idiot.
Oh, that's me.
This is very good. Somebody who likes trolling. Trolling and lolling. Who's that?
Rolling and lol.
Trolling and lolling.
The Insert Credit Podcast.
I don't know. Oh, who's that one guy who says, "Look at us"? Who's that guy?
Oh, yeah.
How did you know what he was talking about?
You know, the guy.
There was a meme for a while. But anyway, that guy.
Paul
Paul
Rudd. But no, actually, Paul
Paul Rudd.
Rudd's gamer tag is Paul Rudd.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's cool.
Well, I lose.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't include it on the list. You're an Idiot 2414 was Eminem, Marshall Mathers, the Slim Shady.
Trolling and lolling.
Yeah, Trollin' and Lolin. Congratulations, Frank. You're the winner of the lightning round.
All right.
And you get to come up with a question
Yay.
next week.
I got a point.
All right. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us. This is the point of the show where we usually do recommendations. We're going to skip it this week, but I would like to say that most of you listening probably already know this, but Tim Rogers' long-awaited video, Cyberpunk 2077, is now
Oh,
available.
yeah.
Give it a
Go
look.
watch that on
Yeah, so good.
youtube.com/action button. Show editor Esper Quinn and I both took the 5-6 route, but I recommend that Insert Credit listeners take the 1-6 route, but it's up to you. I'd also like to recommend, if you're listening to this show on any platform where you can subscribe to or review podcasts, that you engage with us in that way to keep the algorithms pushing us upwards and forwards. You could also go to patreon.com/insertcredit, where you could become a patron to submit your own topics, get our regular episodes one day early.
One day early.
And even access monthly bonus episodes and other exclusive content. You could also join us at forums.insertcredit.com and follow us on Twitter. This show is edited by Esper Quinn with music by Kurt Feldman. Once more, I'm Alex Jaffe.
I'm Frank Cifaldi.
I'm Brandon Sheffield.
I'm Jackie Cole. Hi, Esper.
And you have now completed the episode. Congratulations. All right, thank you very much for joining us. We finished exactly at 5. You can get the heck out of here.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.